good morning, afternoon, and evening. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to finally tighten the chain on my Ninja 500. This has been long overdue, I'm not gonna lie. Very long overdue. If I grab my key real quick, and look at the miles. Yeah, we got 2,752 miles on this bike. And the last time the chain has been tightened was, I'm trying to think. It was like a little bit over 600 miles. It was right after I got this thing broken in. So definitely not ideal, and I don't recommend that you go that long without it, but to be fair, the slack, it's still like, all right. It's really still pretty tight, I'm not gonna lie. I could probably still ride this thing around just fine. I mean, I rode it today to work and it did okay. I maybe am noticing a little bit of slop on the power delivery. And I think it's because of one of two things. It's either because I need to tighten my chain, or on a much more serious note, it's because my clutch is sticking, which it honestly is more of what it feels like. I'll pull the clutch in and for some reason it feels like it's still kind of engaged or like stuck, and I'll let it go forward and then I'll, accelerate, and it almost feels like there's not a lot of power, and then it'll like jump all at once. Like it'll go back to how it should be. And it only happens kind of like at the beginning of the day, but once I start riding it around and get it all warmed up, it seems to go away. But here's all the stuff I got to do this job here, so to speak. The only thing I'm missing is a measuring tape, or more ideally to get one of those like measuring squares that can open and close to get extremely precise. So let me go get that real quick. All right, so here we go. Like I said, I don't have the best tool for it, but I'll put a picture of what's better than a measuring tape, but it's fine, I'll just use this for now. But all right, here's what you essentially need for everything. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is necessary. Getting yourself a stand. This isn't the best stand of all time. I got it on Amazon. You can kind of see the cheapness of it. It's definitely looking like something from IKEA that you build yourself. That's all right. It gets the job done. It holds it up. And I've seen ones that go on the axle, and for some reason that just didn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm sure it's fine, and I'm sure there's something that I'm missing, but I thought this one was good because it just rests on the frame, and it shouldn't inhibit me from doing the job. I got two wrenches here for when we end up tightening, and don't mind my carpet, it's a long story, but yeah, so basically we're gonna mess with these to actually tighten the chain. So I got 9/16 wrench and a 12 millimeter, because there's two right here. Over here, I've never used this thing before. I got it exactly for doing this, but it is a torque wrench. As you can see, it's pretty cool. And that will be used for the axle nut. This over here, this is just stuff to clean the chain. It's just chain lube, a brush, a little thing, and I'm gonna put kerosene in there to clean off the chain, just so it's all ready. And then one last thing that I highly recommend getting. It's maybe not necessary as long as you're careful, but as you can see, we got a cotter pin here. And once you take it off, you don't really want to reuse these, so it's good to have a couple on standby. So in my case, Not in there. Right here, I got some extra cotter pins. So that's really the only other thing. But with that being said, I'm gonna do a real quick read through of the manual. Just so then, you know, if I do anything wrong, you can blame Kawasaki and not me. But it's pretty simple. I'm not gonna aim this. Here, hold on 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna read this. It's pretty simple, but basically, we are going to loosen the left and right chain loosen the left and right chain adjuster lock nuts. So that's gonna be these. Remove the cotter pin and loosen the axle nut, which is right over here. If the chain is too loose or too tight, turn the left and right chain adjusters evenly to adjust the drive chain slack. Turn both chain adjusters evenly until the drive chain has the correct amount of slack to keep the chain and wheel properly aligned. The left wheel alignment indicator should align with the same swing arm mark that the right wheel alignment indicator aligns with. All right, and basically what that means is right here. I'm not sure if you can see, that's a little bit, you can see it right there. So there's basically those alignment indicators. So once we tighten this thing up, this is gonna move back a little bit, and on the other side it's there too. I'm not sure if you can see it, but if you have this bike, you'll be able to see it. Yeah, there you go, you can kind of see it. That'll ensure that once we do this, that the wheel will stay aligned and it's not gonna be a hazard on the road, to say the least. And on this other page, it just essentially shows you what everything is, just so you know I'm not lying to you. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So I'm gonna get to it. I'm just gonna get started on it. All right, first step, we're going to take a 12 millimeter and loosen the lock nuts. That was scary how easy that was. I don't think we have to take them all the way off, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Come around to the other side. We're just going to, while I'm over here, I'm also just gonna take this thing off. I might as well. I did already take it off because I was gonna do this earlier, but I just ultimately decided that the slack wasn't bad enough at the time when I was about to do it, but here we go. Here's the cotter pin. I'm not gonna reuse it because it's pretty beat, but it's easy enough. Those are loosened. Now for the fun part, we're gonna take off this lock nut, or this axle nut. Now, I'm looking at this thing, and I think I don't have a like a socket that's big enough for my wrench. So let me take a look here.
Oh my God! Hell no, man! What the fuck, man?
It's annoying. All right, well, I'm gonna go to the hardware store real quick and try to find a socket that's big enough. All right, very embarrassing to say the least. Whole bunch of stuff going wrong. But anyways, yeah, two things I forgot about the things that you're gonna need to do this job here. First off, you're gonna need a 17 and a 24. One for right here, and then the 24 goes on this side. But yeah, there you go, 24 and a 17 millimeter socket, which we're gonna be putting on my torque wrench, and then on this side I'll probably, I don't know, I'll figure something else out to put it with this. But anyway, so back where we left off, we loosened the adjuster nut, and at this point, let's see, remove the cotter pin and loosen the axle nut. So I don't think we're gonna be taking it all the way off, but we are loosening it, and I gotta figure out how to even use this 72 foot-pounds of torque. And let me get that right there, right? So you guys know I'm not lying. 72 foot-pounds for the axle nut of torque. What's the Newton meters? 98 Newton meters is what we're working with. Oh, I've never used one of these things before. All right, so we're gonna go right about there. So it's 98 Newton meters. We're like a hair over pretty much 95. So that should be good. Oh, I guess we got foot-pounds on this side. That seems kind of, I don't know. Let's go to the 70. All right, there we go. A hair over 70 is what we're gonna work with on the foot-pounds side. Tighten that, and honestly, okay, that makes sense. Saying 98, it's pretty close to that 95, so this should be correct. I'm not gonna lie. Go back around. I'm just gonna use this big ass wrench to hold the other side while I loosen this. Alright. There you go. Alright, so it is loose now. To the touch. So now, should be able to adjust these nuts. Let's see here. Let's see what's next on the list. To adjust the drivetrain slack. Okay. And before we even get to that, let's just see even kind of where my slack is at. So, all right. So it's a pretty good spot to put it, to be honest. It's about at 2 3/4. So if we move it up, and at the bottom it's at 2 3/4. I don't know, man. It's even now as I'm doing this, the slack doesn't seem all that bad. But I don't know. We'll still tighten it up a little bit, but it needs to be within 1 and 1.2 inches, which I believe it is. Like, it's really not moving. It's not even like it's on the ground either. I don't know, maybe it's definitely getting out there, but all right. Yeah, we'll tighten it a little bit. We'll give it a couple twists. All right. I'm gonna start here. And go up. All right, that is one turn. To the right. Now we're gonna come over here, start on top. One turn, do one more. Being careful to keep that even. Come over here. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a piece of paper. I'm going to bring it. I'll make it. All right, I'm gonna make a little mark on this piece of paper so that I have my line. So this is the same on this side. Essentially, yeah, it's looking good. I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick that up, but it's essentially the same. And I pushed these things all the way back, so they're in the same spot.
The real question is, and I mean, that looks straight.
Just how is it gonna feel once I take it out on the road for a test drive, but
It at least lines up with the adjusters on each side with my little piece of paper, so.
that, at least to me, shows that the wheel is in alignment. So in this case,
What we'll do, and that was honestly a lot easier than I thought, is screw this back on, take our 12, hopefully it's not going, oh shit, oh. Yeah,
okay, I don't wanna screw that too much.
but a little bit.
All right, just real quick before I go, I just thought this would be a good strategy just to make sure these things really stay on. So as you can see, this is still kind of movable, and when I was twisting this, the adjuster nut, or I'm sorry, the locking nut for the adjuster, it seems like it was switching, or it was adjusting it as I was tightening it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna literally hold this thing steady and just tighten the locking nut. That way, when you're going down the freeway, it's not gonna come off. I just wanna add that.
So now as we can see, we don't have nearly as much slack. It's definitely a lot tighter now. So that's very good to see there. Let's play. It's still within the 1.2 inch slack, which is shown right there. But, okay, so that was pretty easy. Now, we're gonna put this wrench back on here. It's tight. Okay. Come back on this side. I think it's still set to our torque. There you go. Just make sure. Oh yeah, we're good. Nice. This thing worked pretty well. All right, so back to normal.
Before I put my cotter pin on, I'm gonna take it for a test drive just because who knows,
Maybe I might need to make some further adjustments. Oh my goodness. All right, and by the way, when you put your torque wrench back, it's always good to store it with no tension. Just want to do that.
so now take this thing for a test drive and make sure that it still works. So let me put my little vest thing on and we'll go for a ride. All right. All right, so this thing is honestly, it's going pretty good. Just off of that, this thing already feels way better. Yeah. Yeah, this thing's already feeling significantly better. So just based on that, this thing's already feeling so much better. I can't lie, that was definitely one of the issues that was causing some of the slop in the way this thing was driving. I could just literally feel it as I was taking my hand off the clutch. The power just felt way more direct. Like as I let it off, it just felt less sloppy, to say the least. So if that's something that you're experiencing, like I said, I don't recommend going essentially 2,000 miles without tightening your chain. I'm honestly starting to see the, the difference that it makes. But you can shit on me if you want. This is my first bike, so I'm just kind of like learning how things go. But besides that, the wheel is still straight, and it felt straight when I was riding. Nothing felt weird. If anything, it just felt way better than before. So I'm really happy how everything turned out. Last thing I got to do is just clean that chain, which I'm going to do tonight. I have some other footage, so I'm not going to record it right now, but I do have other footage of me cleaning the chain. But it's all pretty simple. Even this chain tightening was way more simple than I expected it to be. But yeah, besides that, tell me if you have any other suggestions on how to get this done maybe more efficiently, if there's anything I missed. But if you found it helpful, be sure to leave a like, a thumbs up, and as well subscribe. It definitely does mean the world. And before I forget, don't get me wrong, I know I gotta put my cotter pin on there. Make sure that my that doesn't fall off. So besides that, that's all I have to say for this video. Thanks for watching, and peace.